All right. We're live for the July live stream. I am happy to be here, but I am tired. So it will be another one of Lauren's tired live streams, but it's already the second, and I think I'll be even more tired tomorrow. And then it's too late. So we're just chugging full steam ahead. I got my water over there. Hopefully, I remember to actually drink some water instead of just being at the end. Oh, wow, my voice is tired. My throat is dry, whatever. But I just honestly can't believe it's August. Like, it's crazy to me. And yeah, so we're going to talk about July. I overall feel like it was pretty good for me. There was definitely a lot of things in the broader public world that were stressful and alarming. So, the usual support Gaza if you can, free Palestine, do not comply in advance to the Trump administration's crazy new things. And there's all this new drama about like Project Esther, which is not a new thing, but I've been seeing a lot more of that stuff on my TikTok. So I try to stay realistically positive and do what we can, small steps. Also, I do have the window open, not that window I just pointed to because in this, but a different window. So if you're hearing a lot of noises or if I hear a lot of noise, I will close the window, but it's finally like not humid and relatively nice weather in New Jersey. So I'm just really soaking in the the nice air. So just deal with that. Now to the part you're all waiting for, right? The I forgot to say, if you're watching it live, thanks for watching live and just put stuff in the chat. And if you're respectful, I'll reply. Otherwise, you can feel free to leave any comments you like in the comments section and I will reply later. Thank you for that. So, for my monthly check in on my goals, I actually feel like relatively good. I think overall, let's see. Yeah, so for my private goals, doing okay. Maybe not amazing, but they're okay. They're fine. Haven't like backslid on any progress there, but not really moving forwards. But that's okay because life is not linear. Goals are not linear, and I focused on other stuff as well in the month. For example, my goal two, which is the Bible in a year goal, I'm finally done with the book of Deuteronomy and the book of Numbers. I never, I literally thought I was going to be stuck with those books forever. I thought I was never getting out of them. And it is the great victory. And with much rejoicing, I'm now in the book of Joshua. Thank you. Thank you. So, yes, thank goodness for that. I don't know. Sometimes I still feel like reading the the books of the Bible that I've like never really read before. I'm just left feeling kind of like, why is this here? Like, why do I care? Why should I care? And I do have a journaling Bible, and I put some little notes in. And sometimes I feel like maybe I should have done it where like I watched like a video lecture as well, but I don't really have the motivation to do that fully. So maybe one day if I finish the whole thing, and I want to do it again, I'll do it with like an external guide. Because most of the time I feel like I can kind of manage on my own. But like these books were really kind of a drag for me and more difficult for me to get through. But that's done, and that's a huge step forward for me. My water intake is doing all right. I definitely like if I'm drinking like lemonade, like the one where you like mix powder into the water, I still kind of count that as my water intake. I know it's not like exactly water, but it's close enough for me. So that's doing all right as well. My events, being extroverted, going to events with more than three or more people, major success. Okay, I really killed it. Had a family barbecue, did a hiking outing with the family, went to the Frick. I went to the Summer Ale Festival, Philadelphia, had a dinner with some friends, like really killing the game there. Go team. Um, my reading goal is done, and I should have brought it over here, but on my vanity thing, I have my new Kindle, and I actually read 5 books in July as well. So I'm like at I think 17 books for the year already, which is crazy because I set my goal at 10 new books. But as I started reading more new books, I got like re-excited about new books. Not that had been like I hadn't realized I'd been so like unexcited about new books, honestly. So it was very nice, I think, to get like kind of reinvigorated because I liked reading like kind of books that I guess like comfort books or books I've already read, even if it's been a long time. So it's just honestly really nice to feel like re-energized to read books. And because I use Libby, a lot. I have had some motivation, be like, "Oh my god, I gotta finish this book," because otherwise I have to put a hold in again and maybe not get it for another, like, several weeks if maybe it's a more popular book. And then I'll be annoyed because I'm, like, say, 2/3 the way done, and I don't wanna wait 5 weeks, 4 weeks to find out what happened. So that's definitely been kind of a helpful motivator to get me to, like, stay on the reading thing. Financially, I'm happy with my budget and savings, that's going well. I did help with my volunteer hours in helping with this filmmaker project. So that I think I hit 8 hours, maybe not exactly, but definitely more than 6. So I'm gonna say that's a success. This month will be a little bit more difficult because I'm not working on it with her this month because she's traveling. So I have to come up with some other way to give back to the community. Um, my goal about playing the violin, I think I played once, but I actually already for the whole month of August blocked into my agenda. Like I put in advance, like play, practice, 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 and I already practiced my violin this month, which is crazy because it's the second. So I that is going to be different. Okay, we are going to come at the end of the month in August during the August live stream. I'm going to say that I practice my violin a lot. Okay, I am saying it now. I will be held accountable. It's in my agenda already. Like it is going to happen because I really miss like playing the violin. But every time I play, I feel like, oh my God, I'm not good anymore. And but I'm not actually going to get any better unless I practice again and more consistently. So that has to be done. It's going to happen. And for a new place, I went to a couple new places, but the place that I wrote down anyways was I went to the Frick for the first time, and, it's really nice to feel like because sometimes I feel like I've been everywhere, which is not true, but sometimes I think I can feel that way and maybe you feel that way. So it's nice to kinda be reminded that it's like you really haven't been everywhere and there's so many more places to explore, to see, or maybe just, like, in general, like, reopen the mind to, like, what's right near you and where you live and all that stuff. So I think that was really good, successful month there, pushing forwards. I do overall feel like my goals are overall doing well. I We'll see, I guess, if my motivation can continue. Oh no, the first yawn of the live stream. Take some water. Well, it was a good run while it lasted with no yawns. Now to the monthly recap. It's funny, when I was looking through pictures of the month to put in the thumbnail, I was like, I feel like I didn't do much this month, like picture-wise. But I feel like I did a lot in real life. So maybe I just didn't take as many pictures, or maybe I took a lot of pictures and they were bad, so I deleted them. Or maybe I'm just crazy and I actually took a normal amount of pictures. I don't know. I just when I was looking for pictures to put in, I was like, hmm. So I do need to like go through my pictures more often digitally and like delete the bad ones because I'm gonna run out of storage space. I'm also need to go through and delete like old downloads on my computer because I download like lots of random images for like my YouTube videos. And if anyone has any good tips for kind of cleaning up like old files like that, let me know because otherwise it's just going to be a slog. And maybe it just has to be a slog. And I just have to, like, again, set aside time to just like go through and like clean up old files. I just don't really want to do that because it's going to be, again, a slog. But again, it just has, if it has to be done, it has to be done. But I'll be annoyed about it in a way. Let's see. All right, July. The first, like, actual pictures I have are from the 4th of July. We had a kind of family barbecue because my older sister was in town, which was so nice because she lives in Wisconsin, so it was really great that she was able to come. She was there for more than just the 4th of July. She was there for kind of almost a week, I think, and so that was really nice, but we had a bunch of the other relatives come over, and my mom made burgers, and she makes really good burgers, so it was a victory. It was a victory there, and then we went to see the fireworks in the town, like, next to mine, which was lovely because I love fireworks. I know that they're not great for the environment, and I know that they're really loud. So I know there's many reasons why they're not good, but they just inspire greatness and make my heart happy. I can't pretend that they don't. And I took a bunch of mostly bad firework photos because I hadn't thought to bring my big camera. I'm not sure why I didn't think about it. It just didn't occur to me, I guess. So I was like, no, I could have set up even my little tripod and gotten some cool photos, but it just, again, just completely like skipped my mind. Oh well, it was still exciting to be there and nice nice to feel it. And then we went on a nice hike the next day, dad, daughter, and dog day. My mom got a break from us. And Cal looks so happy in this picture. I know that when dogs are like smiling, look like they're smiling, it's because they're panting, but he's just so cute when they look all happy. And he loves going to new places, though he has been here before, but not, he doesn't go, hasn't been to Goat Hill Overlook a lot. So I'm sure it was nice for him. It was nice for me and, my sisters and my dad, because it was a pretty nice day overall. It wasn't terrible, like terribly hot or humid yet. And it's just nice to be outside and there's green grass and when the sun's shining because you feel like the world's so pretty. And I do think the world can be really pretty, but sometimes it's nice to get like a reminder just like that and good to get my steps in. This was not a very, like overall the month, I did not get as many like steps activity as previous months. So although that's not like one of my general goals, as far as like my monthly goals in my book, I do think I need to make a bit more of an effort to be less sedentary. I did do some yoga and stuff this month, so it's not like I didn't do anything, and I did do some walks and some little hikes, but I feel like I didn't make like an extra effort to move more. And I know that not it's good for you physically. I know it's good for me mentally, and my therapist will definitely, want me to be active. So I got to work on that. But that was a nice way to kind of like ease into the month of being active, although I didn't end up being as active as I thought maybe I would have been, but it's all good. And here's me and a puppy. Even though he's not looking at the camera, I think it's a cute picture because I look happy, even if Cal's not cooperating, whatever, it's fine. And there's a really cute town right across kind of the river and New Hope. Maybe you've been there, maybe you haven't, but I do recommend you check it out if you like kind of cute little towns with random shops and things like that. It's a bit of a hippie town, I would say. So if you don't like that, then don't check it out. But I think it's a really fun place to be. It was a busy weekend because my sister was still in town. So the next day we went into the city and we were going to the city to go to the Frick collection because it recently reopened. I'm going to close the window because the bugs are out all of a sudden. I'm just like hearing bug, bug, bug. Ugh. Okay, extreme force and strength there to close the window. So yeah, we went to the Frick, which I really liked it. I was a little disappointed, I think, in how crowded it was because we had to get like timed tickets, reservation, or we didn't because we got like member passes at the library, but it's like a timed reservation system. And it's I don't know, I assume because of that, like I thought we were gonna have it was gonna feel more maybe more intimate with the art, but there were a lot of places where there was just like a lot of people, which was a little disappointing. But I really liked that it's sort of like those rooms at the Met where they're like the period rooms in the sense that the rooms looked very nice. And it wasn't just like kind of a wall, like a regular gallery where there's like walls and art. Instead, it's like this beautiful room and the ceiling's beautiful and the floor and there'd be some furniture and the whole thing. It's still obviously focused around the art, but it feels more lived in or there's like context around the art or I don't finding hard to verbalize exactly. Maybe it's part of the tired Lauren brain. But that was really fun, and there were really no, like, glass or anything, not that we touched the art anyways, but you could get really close to the art. The thing you weren't allowed to do was really take any pictures except for in the courtyard. So I did get a picture in the courtyard, but that was, like, the only place we could get pictures, and this was very funny. So while we were at the Frick, and I think for several more months, there's also this porcelain garden kind of temporary exhibit. So throughout the whole building, there are different like porcelain flowers set up or plants, and they're in the different rooms, and they relatively go with the rooms. And to the point where sometimes I don't think I even realized like, oh, this is part of this porcelain garden. And the main reason that I suddenly like didn't really realize until I'd picked up like finally I went back to the kind of the main desk area and we were past it and I got like a little brochure to see like what was in each room. And I noticed there was something in the courtyard. Now, when we've been in the courtyard, I have a picture actually. So the courtyard area like was like this, and it was like an indoor courtyard, but it had like a big window, it had a fountain, it had this planter, which I said has it's an orange tree planter, that's what it says, but there are lemons in the tree. And I thought that was weird, and I, like, literally made a little video being like, "Oranges but lemons?" Anyways, it turns out the lemons are actually part of the porcelain garden. So it doesn't always have lemons in the orange tree planter. So I thought that was very funny, and maybe you don't think that's funny at all, but I think it's funny that I just hadn't, like, really connected the dots that that was part of the other exhibit because aside from the brochure handout, each of those rooms, like, they had nothing about those plants next to them. Like, they were just kind of existing in various pots, vases, kind of wherever it was in the room, which made it really feel like part of the exhibit, part of the atmosphere, which I liked. It's just, like, some of them just weren't as obvious that it was not part of the just, like, the regular decor, I suppose. But I realized actually before we went to the Frick, the same day, we'd actually gone to the Central Park Zoo first because I'm not sure if we went I think maybe we thought it'd be cooler in the morning. I'm not exactly sure why we did it in that order, but we were doing 2 things. So we went to the Central Park Zoo. I haven't been to the Central Park Zoo that much in comparison to, like, the Bronx Zoo or the Turtleback Zoo, but I still like it. I was a little bummed because the sea lion exhibit was being, like, cleaned or something or whatever, so the sea lions were not out, which was kind of a bummer because the whole Central Park Zoo is sort of centered around the sea lions. So that was a bit sad, but we still got to see lots of penguins and parrots. I got, I was very pleased with this guy. I think this is a picture that I put actually on the thumbnail for this. He's a real looker. And it was still nice. I still love seeing all the animals. We saw some snow leopard, at least their butts, anyways, and a tail. We didn't really see their faces. They were actually, I think, looking at each other from where their exhibits were, but we couldn't see the faces. We saw the brown bears. So it was still success. It just wasn't maybe like a raging success because again, the sea lions were not on exhibit. But we did go to the children's zoo as well, which is a little further down. And I got to see some sheep and pet the sheep. And I love sheep, right? So that was a great victory. So overall, it was good. And the Frick was really nice. So it all worked out. It just was a bit more uh the only thing about the day was a bit more walking than initially planned because we got a little turned around in Central Park. We were looking for a place to eat lunch because it's a little confusing. Maybe you're good at going through Central Park, but sometimes I can get a little turned around. And even though it was with my family, we all got a little turned around. But regardless, we made it to where we wanted to eat lunch. We ate lunch and then we made it to our next destination. It was all good. I feel like that was a lot of extra words for nothing that extravagant or dramatic, but whatever. Then the next week, I guess I didn't do anything that I took photos of during the week. I was just working, I suppose, as one does when you're working. But that weekend, I went back into the city to meet up with my friend, and we went to the Morgan Library Museum. It's this logo, if you've seen it. I had been like heard of the Morgan before, but I hadn't really connected any dots. And I'd even heard that I'd gotten some email or notice on social media or something about a Jane Austen exhibit at the Morgan. But even so, when my friend was like, "Hey, do you want to go with me?" They do some like late, like Friday evening like tickets. I still didn't even like connect the dots that this was the same place. So we went through like the regular library area, which was stunning, by the way. I mean, you have to go. It's beautiful. I mean, I don't know if anyone ever has read all the books in the library, but I felt like that scene when Belle go in Beauty and the Beast when he like opens the doors to the library and it's like that's how I felt because it was amazing. And there were some books that were really big, and there was even one section that was like mini books, and they were like this big. And it was just so cute. I felt really inspired to read. Maybe that's another reason why I read 5 books in July because I had gone to this library and it was like, filling my brain and I had to read. I don't know. But it was really beautiful. And they also had some galleries, one of which I would say was not appropriate for children, but it was interesting. The Jane Austen exhibit, though, would have been appropriate for children, so all's well there. They even had like an outfit that would have been her measurements, which I thought was really interesting. They had some first editions or early editions of her books. It was sort of an eclectic exhibit in the sense that there was like a little bit about her, and then there were a bit about the books and her. And there was a whole section about like her American fans, which I thought was really funny. And I feel like they put the American fan section in just because the exhibit was like in America. Because otherwise, I don't know why we really care that she had like this American audience for her books. in the sense like why do we care about it for this particular exhibit? But it was cool, and they even had like a wall at the very end of all the different versions like around the world and languages of Pride and Prejudice, various kind of versions, adaptations. Which did I take a picture of that? Apparently not, but that was fun. And I love Jane Austen. I love Pride and Prejudice. I love Emma. I've definitely read those two books the most because I have them on my phones. Like no matter what, wherever I am, I can just like re-download them. I love the 1995 Pride and Prejudice, and I'm a fan, okay, of Jane Austen, all that stuff. And it was a fun exhibit. It definitely, I would say, my personal opinion is that even though I really like the exhibit, if you have no interest in like the rest of the Morgan Library Museum, I wouldn't pay just to see that exhibit because it wasn't huge. But providing you are also interested in like the general library and the other little exhibits, totally worth it because it was cool. And if you're a Jane Austen fan, yeah, I think you would like it. Though the only weirdest thing actually they had in the exhibit was they had a bit of her hair. I feel like I didn't need to see that, to be honest. Like, I could have lived my life without seeing like her hair in a little box. Just saying. I'm just searching through my photos. The next big outing was really a week later when I went to Philadelphia because I was doing the photography at the Summer Ale Festival at the Philly Zoo, which was really fun. I haven't done a lot of like event photography really since college, so it was exciting to be reached out to about that. And I obviously love Philadelphia. I went to school there, so I got my friend. She came with me. I got like a plus one to kind of go with me to the event, and it was funny because I don't drink that much. She doesn't drink at all, but we had a blast. Okay, like I am also not really a beer drinker. It was mostly beer, but they did have some hard cider. But overall, it was still really fun. Got to see some animals, and they were pretty active. I think because it's been so. I mean, maybe they're always active in the evening. Again, I don't usually go to zoos at night because they're not usually open. So I'm not sure if it was they're always active in the evening or because it had been so hot during the day that finally it cooled down a bit, so the animals are more active. But saw a decent amount of activity, monkeys, orangutans. The tiger was super active. I mean, the tiger was like running around. Let's see if I can find the video, like playing in the water, which was crazy to me because like I mean, there like I sometimes I'm happy usually if I see the tiger at all anywhere, let alone moving. So that was very exciting. And I got this cute little cup, sample cup. So that was really fun. The only part of that wasn't fun was that as we walked through the zoo and back around like the food trucks and everything, there was one exhibit that was like spiders alive. And we didn't go in, but I just had to keep seeing this sign with a spider. And there was like a tarantula like doing a woo. And it was huge. I didn't need to see that. And I had to pass it so many times. And even though I'm doing a lot better with spiders from my like no CT therapy program, that doesn't mean I want to see spiders alive, every 5 minutes. I mean, it wasn't that much because we weren't walking back and forth like this, but it did feel like every time I thought we were like in the clear, spiders alive. Whoa, okay, relax. But I still think it was a great opportunity to go. It was fun. But again, that spiders alive, it's haunting me. It's haunting my dreams. We also got Italian ice, though in Philly they would say water ice, or they would actually say water ice. And maybe if you haven't really been to Philly, you might only think of like Rita's Italian ice, but this place was Coco's Creamery and legit stuff. Kiwi, strawberry, Italian ice hits the spot, okay? And it was hot, so after we'd been at the event, it was like the perfect way to wrap up the evening. But I could not wrap up the evening for long because then I was hop skipping away back to New Jersey. Very busy that weekend because me and my friend went to see the complete works of William Shakespeare at the Shakespeare Theater in New Jersey, which I had never seen the complete works before. I'd heard, I heard it was like overall funny, and I like Shakespeare a lot, so it was fun to go. I'd never been to the Shakespeare Theater as well, so I wasn't really sure what to expect about the theater. I thought it was nice. I mean, there wasn't really like a bust of William Shakespeare or anything. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it felt like overly Shakespearean. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but it was nice. I do think that it would have been even better if they did a little bit more of a big comedy because they basically did one romance, Well, actually, because they did 2 tragedies, really. They did 2 big tragedies and then kind of, like, did some compilations. I mean, the whole thing was 37 plays in 99 minutes, so obviously they're not doing really any play in full. They're like, pulling from big lines, and I haven't read all the plays, but I've read a decent amount slash know enough of the plot, and I thought it was fun. I do think if you like Shakespeare, you would like it, though I think they just actually wrapped up. But they must go, like, do tours of it regularly because oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Because my my old professor, or I guess teacher from high school, who like sent a blast out to all of us in the Shakespeare Club alumni, he'd seen it before, but like many years ago. So it's not like this was the first time it's ever existed, but this was the complete works, abridged, revised again. So it's obviously been like an evolutionary project, but it was fun. I like shows, theater, plays in many forms. I guess I'm, like, going through yeah, I guess I just didn't even though I was pretty busy, like, in general because I was, still think working on my like, wrapping up my animated project, submitting that to some film festivals, working on a different project. So even though I feel like I've been busy and I've obviously been making, like, more long form YouTube videos in July, I was pretty consistent about that. I just didn't go out and do a lot of things that I took pictures of because I just feel like I just don't have that much stuff. Yeah, wrapped up the month. I guess really by seeing a caterpillar. This was like a highlight. Look at him munching away. I think I actually still have to make a YouTube short of that. I have a bunch of like random footage that I need to make some shorts out of. And yeah, that was the month. I It's kind of weird. I feel like in my brain, I feel like I did a lot. And I feel like when I think about all the activities and events I did, maybe it was just more skewed towards the front of the month. Like the first half was busier than the second half. I'm not really sure. All I know is the month I think overall was a success for me. And I really am feeling just really grateful and lucky that like I just feel like my mental health and overall happiness is doing like so much better than it was like this time last year, for example. So I'm just trying to really remain grateful for that and progress, even if it feels like maybe should I have done more? Should I have whatever this? Like not all my goals are progressing the same way. Just try to remain like centered in the fact that I'm doing what I can do and overall I got to pour into myself so that I can then like pour out into the community and world at large. That's about it. Thank you so much for watching. I saw a couple people popping in and out on the live stream, so thank you for that. And if you're watching on the replay, thanks as well. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And I will see you very soon with my next long form video and next month for another live stream. Bye.